Buenas and Hafide Todes Hanzu. This public hearing by the Committee on Federal Affairs, I apologize, by the Committee on Rules is hereby called to order. It is now 4:02 p.m. For the record, and in accordance with Section 8107 of Chapter 8, 5 GCA, public hearing notices were sent on Monday, December 16th, 2019, adhering to the 5-day working notice, and a second public notice on Wednesday, December 18th, 2019, 48 hours prior to today. In addition, this public hearing was noticed on the Guam Legislature's website, www.guamlegislature.org. Joining me here this afternoon are my fellow senators, Speaker Tina Rose Muñoz Barnes to my right, and to my left are Minority Leader Senator Will Castro. And I'd like to thank them for joining me. Before we proceed, ladies and gentlemen, with the discussion of the items that we have on our agenda, I'd first like to provide some general rules of conduct for all who are in attendance. The conduct of this hearing shall be as follows. When speaking, please ensure that the microphone is on. So just press the little button there and that you're speaking into the microphone. The chair will invite individuals who signed up to testify. Individuals testifying shall first be recognized by the chair before speaking, and please state your name and any affiliations that you might have for record purposes. The order of questioning will begin with the panel of senators who shall complete their lines of questioning for each respective item on the agenda. Upon completion of the panel's line of questioning, the chair will pose questions. Each member will be allowed to pose a question to an individual testifying for one round and will be provided another round if necessary. Questions and testimony shall be confined to the substance or nature of the agenda. Personal inference as to character or the motive of any senator or any individual testifying is not permitted. Any violations of this general rule of conduct will result in removal from the public hearing room by the Sergeant at Arms of the Guam Legislature. And we have on our hearing agenda Bill 41-35. And before I hand it over to the speaker, I just wanted to, thank you, make a note. I'm always supportive of efforts to help train and make better a new generation of public servants. Many legislative and GovGuam employees find themselves using every opportunity available to them to learn the skills needed in a career in public service. In fact, many members of the legislature and other elected officials served in the Guam Youth Congress or as an intern in a public office. This measure will mean that the Guam Legislature always has a program at its disposal to foster the next cohort of leaders, to mentor promising youth, and to ensure that policy and communications, that transparency and accountability are handled by civil servants who are ready to meet the high standards our public deserves. I thank Speaker Barnes, Senator Castro, former Speaker Juan Pat, and Senator Amanda Shelton, as well as the interns here with us today, and everyone who has helped impanel and sustain the legislature's Public Policy Institute. And I hope that this program will be part of our legacy of leadership that will better serve our island well into the generations ahead. Sidus Maasi. And at this time, I'd like to invite Speaker Tina Rose Muñoz Barnes to deliver her remarks as the sponsor of Bill 41-35 COR. Speaker?
Sidus Maasi, Madam Chair, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present my opening testimony in support of Bill number 41-35. And if I may read at least the title, Madam Chair, it is an act to add a new Chapter 16 to Title 2 of the Guam Code annotated relative to expanding, enhancing, and implementing the Public Policy Institute program, which is the PPI, to encourage educational, political, and real work growth, as well as offer work experience. Madam Chair, again, this was introduced by myself, Legislative Secretary Amanda Shelton, Senator Kelly Marsh Taitino, Minority Leader Senator William N. Castro, and of course yourself as the Committee on Rules Chair. Madam Chair, I want to say thank you so much for supporting our efforts on this bill. And I want to say, first, Merry Christmas and many of God's blessings to all of you here this afternoon. I do want to say for the record that the Public Policy Institute was originally an initiative that was spearheaded by then Speaker Judy Wonpat during the 31st Guam legislature. And at that time, then, now Senator Will Castro, and then working closely with Speaker Wonpat, there was a resolution that was introduced to implement the program within the legislative body, and that was resolution number 26-32 COR. Because of the success in previous years, my office restarted the program with a few senators hosting interns coming from the University of Guam, the Guam Community College, the high schools, the charter schools, and even homeschools. And we hope that by setting this program up in statute, it will open up the opportunity for the program to work with various national organizations like the Junior State of America and find federal grants to help develop the future leaders and policymakers of our island. I want to say that, Madam Chair, I see several of the interns here that are ready to testify, and hope that we can hear from them about their experiences in the program. And I want to also note before they come up that this program has been able to work closely with the interns to doing workshops, humanitarian efforts, have meetings with different agencies, having the opportunity to have hands-on training, working closely with the governor and lieutenant governor, the agencies like Department of Corrections, Homeland Security, of course this body, the Airport Authority, the Commission on Decolonization, the Department of Education. I want to share with you the success of this program, Madam Chair, and to all the listening audience, that they looked and worked on briefings that are very critical to what's happening today in our community, the discussion circles of decolonization, the Jones Act and its effects on Guam, the Guam NMI visa waiver, the non-communicable disease and risk factors, the White House-sponsored roundtables in Saipan on college success, Compact of Free Association, and the list goes on, Madam Chair. But more importantly, I just want to say that I would be remiss if I didn't thank all the interns, including the ones that were here during the summer cohort: Hira, Faith, Jen, Nola, Tristan, Al, Kayla, Olivia, Amanda, Maylene, Gwen, Sunny, and Annalena Cole for making this program a success. Madam Chair, I think more than several of these cohorts have now been accepted into not just our office, but several of the senatorial office, continuing their education, more importantly, continuing the training that it needs to be, hopefully, our future senators of our island of Guam, and even more importantly, is even to have hands-on collaboration and national applications to not just Ivy League schools, but also working like with Washington, D.C. and many of the other states who look closely at programs like this to find the very best. So I want to say thank you, Madam Chair, for giving me the opportunity, along with my co-sponsors, to have this public hearing, but more importantly, to make it statute, and we hope to get the support of this August body so that we literally can look at opportunities for resources and giving these interns at least the resources they need to be able to handle several of the things that they do in order to be successful in life. So, si Diyos Masi, and I'm very eager to hear from the folks here and also from the interns. Sana Masi.
Sitos Masi, Madam Speaker, and now I'd like to call the panel of individuals who have signed up to testify on Bill 41-35 COR. Please come forward and be seated when your name is called. Dr. Miget Bavakwa, GYC Rep. Al Labang, GYC Rep. Nolan Flores, Faith Camper, and Annalena Ko. I'd also like to call up Tristan Quintanilla, also with the Guam Youth Congress. Anyone else? If not, Dr. Bavakwa?
Buenas and hafade, todo samsu. I'm happy to be here to testify in support of this bill. I've had the honor of working with different students from the Public Policy Institute over the years. Some of them eventually became my students at the University of Guam. Some of them I've worked with in the community. And any program which can help the youth feel more engaged and more excited or hopeful about sort of the future of their island, especially in terms of governance, I think is very important. Because sometimes I feel like the sort of Guam's Olympic sport should really be complaining about the government. I feel that sort of we've got some gold medal champions in terms of complaining about the government. And then it's easy to sort of it's easy to talk a lot, it's easy to make a lot of excuses, but we always have to remember that it is a democracy. And so it is based on participation and engagement, the type of government that we have, the type of society that we have. And when we look at a lot of people in the community who say they don't like the way the island is heading, we don't see a lot of them really guiding people towards engaging. We see a lot of complaining, which just makes people feel like, basta tadza singatatoqui, we can't do anything about this because it's already so bad, it's already so wrong. But what I've always admired about the students that I've worked with through the Public Policy Institute is that there's always a desire to learn more. Because when you confront problems, you can respond by talking about the problems, complaining about the problems, making it so that the problems are somebody else's responsibility, or you can learn about it and you can talk to people and you can try to understand what's going on with the hope of improving something about it. And so from the first time that I met some of those students at the Commission on Decolonization, it was a very nice experience. I think Chirac at the end was part of the crew that came to the Commission on Decolonization at that time. And it was a diverse group who were very interested in these issues. And so, I mean, nowadays when there's so many things that are raising our children, whether it be YouTube or social media, in addition to sort of what they learn from us, we always have to remember that these types of programs which tell them, that what matters is what matters is what we do here. What matters is sort of that we take care of this island, we take care of our society, we participate. Those types of programs which train people to hopefully become the next generation of public servants, of leaders, they're very, very important, especially to push back against a lot of that unfortunate common sense that says that we can't take care of ourselves, we can't do anything right. If we want to do things right, then we got to start teaching our youth to love this island, to care about its governance, and see that it is what we make of it. It is not what we complain about only. It is what we do that makes the difference. And so, hanggang go support asti si Diyos Masi.
Sizus Masi, Dr. Bavakwa, thank you very much. And next we'll hear from 32nd Guam Youth Congress representative and Majority Floor Leader, the Chairman of the Committee on Education and Youth Affairs, Representative Al Labang.
Thank you, Senator D. Buenas and Happy Senator Lee, Speaker Borns, and Senator Castro. Um, I am testifying in full support of Bill 41-35 COR, which implements the Public Policy Institute, or PPI. The Public Policy Institute, just as the same as the Guam Youth Congress, are both training grounds and experience for aspiring youth and students that wishes to be in the political arena. I give my full support to the bill, not only because I'm a PPI graduate, but as a youth of our island. We, the youth, are often referred to as the future of our island. And PPI provides an in-depth, on-the-job training for aspiring leaders, and it allows future leaders to have experience in the most important part of our government, which is policy making, the Guam legislature. PPI is also beneficial for our community because with the policy research required for the PPI curriculum, it benefits our community by allowing interns explore within our community to find new ways to make difference for our island. In closing, I'm giving my full support with this bill. This bill would be beneficial for all the youth of our island. Lastly, I would like to commend Speaker Tina Muñoz, Senator Amanda Shelton, Senator Kelly Marsh Haitano, Senator William Castro, and Senator Regine Biscoe for sponsoring this legislation. CZU Maasi.
Sidzus Maasi, Mr. Lebang, thank you very much for your testimony. And next we'll hear from Rep. Nolan Flores, also from the Guam Youth Congress. I believe he's a representative of the University of Guam, and he also serves as a member of the Guam Public Library System Board of Directors. Mr. Flores.
Sizos Mahasi, Madam Chair. Buenas Hafide, Madam Chair, Madam Speaker, and Senator Castro. Sizos Mahasi for this opportunity to testify in support of Bill 41-35. Just a few short months ago, I was sitting in the same seat providing testimony in support of Bill 129-35 in order to fulfill the graduation requirements for the Public Policy Institute. Since then, I've been given the great opportunity to serve as a member of the Guam Public Library System Board of Directors. I've also been elected as one of our university's 3 representatives of the Guam Youth Congress. I share these things not to underscore my own achievements, but to highlight the wealth of opportunities that have opened up to me as a graduate of the Public Policy Institute. As a graduate of the summer cohort, I, along with 9 other bright young minds, were exposed to a wide array of knowledge, skills, and experiences throughout our 3 months with the Institute. We were not only given an in-depth look into our island's legislative process, but fully immersed in every aspect of lawmaking and public service, to include comprehensive research, bill writing, constituent support, executive-level staffing, and community service. For me personally, the Institute also further solidified my interest in policy and fueled my passion for serving our island and our people. Therefore, I stand in full support of Bill 41-35 and further commend the work that the Institute has done in shaping our island's future leaders. Once again, Sidzuos Maasi, Madam Chair, for this opportunity to testify, and Undangkulu na Sidzuos Maasi to you, Madam Speaker, and Senator Castro, along with your staff for all that you've done for me and the fellow graduates and interns of the Public Policy Institute. Sidzuos Maasi, Feliz Navidad, Zanbiba, Año Nuevo.
Sidzus Maasi, Mr. Flores, thank you very much. And next on our list, we have Faith Camper, who I believe is also with the Public Policy Institute. Faith?
Half a day, Senator Lee, Senator Castro, and Speaker Barnes. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here. And just being here today for me is a testament to the impact that this internship has had on me, because I'm really not a public speaker. During my internship, I had to take a few words of instruction and attempt to do the project I was given. Sometimes I messed up and had to start again, but I learned from my mistakes and taught myself how to do these projects well. And although I likely won't be continuing in politics, I can take this concept of being quick on my feet to the medical field where they live out the concept of learning, doing, and then teaching other people. Just being an intern has helped me to realize that ambition is contagious. Interning under people such as Senator Castro, who achieved their goals and think 2 steps ahead of where they are, helps me to believe that my dreams are not so unreachable. I plan to graduate from college at 18 with my RN, and I aspire to be the youngest charge nurse in whatever hospital I choose to work in. The PPI internship will stay with me throughout the course of my career because of the way it makes me stand out among the crowd and the leadership qualities it taught me. On a more personal level, just to be given the opportunity to hear Speaker Barnes' story and how she overcame her hardships and pressed on to become the Speaker of Guam is incredibly inspiring. And the way Senator Castro and all of Guam Congress accepted me and took me in as one of their own, feeding me and genuinely caring about me and supporting me is something that I can take with me as I move across the world telling others what life in Guam is like. It really reshaped my understanding of what it means to be an American, and I plan to share this information with whoever will listen. In conclusion, these relationships that I have been so fortunate to make has set the tone for my future, and for that I am so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Faith, and I'm glad that you brought your own little intern back there who was documenting your testimony. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And next we have Annalena Coe.
Good afternoon, Speaker Tina Mina Barnes, Senator Lee, and Senator Castro. Thank you for allowing me to testify in supporting this bill. I am Annalena Coe from the village of Tamuning, currently in 11th grade attending Harvest Christian Academy and a current intern at the Public Policy Institute. I'm here to provide testimony in support of Bill 41-35 COR. I support the reinforcement of the PPI through the addition of Bill 41-35 COR because of the indispensable experience the Public Policy Institute internship program has provided me with. I believe more should be made aware of this invaluable program, which grants citizens of Guam the opportunity to learn how our island functions regardless of their age. Personally, I had no idea how the legislature functioned. From having zero knowledge regarding the Speaker's office, I've grown into a cultured individual who knows how my island works. Throughout this program, I've been exposed to a variety of political news, which caused me to want to find solutions for our island. It changed my nonchalant attitude towards the news into one of intrigue and desire to learn more about what I can do to help. Sessions, public hearings, and all the events Speaker attended opened up an immense amount of learning opportunities for me. While I'm still in the midst of the learning process of policymaking, everything I've experienced in the past 100 hours of being in this program has amplified my professional skills. The flexibility of this program has allowed me to pursue my interests in societies like foster care, unrepresented people, and business through research and talking to skilled professionals within the boundary, which ensures that I complete my tasks. It is not every day that I am given the opportunity to make a direct impact to my community. Meetings with people like Mr. Melvin Warren-Pat Borja, Senator Paul Strauss of the District of Columbia, General Secretary Ralph Bunch of the UNPO, and the Public Auditor Benjamin Cruz has inspired me to learn beyond the walls of a classroom. Seeing people so passionate about what they do motivated me to seek higher education in the fields of interest to me. I believe the outlined set of things to accomplish encompassed in this bill provides specific requirements to ensure every PPI intern grows in this program, which is key to guaranteeing a valuable experience within this educational program. I would like to close with a thank you to everyone in the legislature who allowed this to be possible for me. To Senator Amanda Shelton's office and Senator Mary Torres' office for answering all my questions regarding foster care and being a source for me to gain constructive feedback. I am in gratuity for your willingness to help and your kind responses. To Speaker Tina Mina Barnes' office, thank you for putting up with my endless questions, giving me advice, and showing me how to be a professional worker. Never once have you made me feel like I was inferior due to my lack of expertise. In addition to that, I've been treated as a valuable worker in the office and someone of equal importance held in high regard. Finally, may everyone have a happy holiday season and a Merry Christmas celebration.
Thank you very much, Ms. Coe. Thank you for your testimony. And now, the former Speaker of the Guam Youth Congress, Mr. Tristan Quintanilla, did you want to provide feedback on this bill or testimony?
Thank you, Senator. But point of information, I was never Speaker of the Guam Youth Congress. That was Javen.
But you're still a member, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I come before you today to speak in favor of Bill 41-35 COR. As a political science major, opportunities like the PPI program offer hands-on experience and education directly relevant to my personal interests and a foot in the door to careers in public service. I am always in support of anything that encourages youth engagement in government. I'm especially appreciative of the clause that requires 50% of the students in the program to be enrolled in public school. I myself graduated and went through the public school here in Guam, and I can tell you that the opportunities like this are especially relevant and especially uplifting for students who are just looking for their way in life, their path, and seeking to find out what it is they want to do. Programs like these are very sparse here in Guam, and I feel that it really it fulfills a need. So, my time in the PPI program was marked with exploration and personal growth. I wholeheartedly believe in the value of this program, and I hope that it continues to uplift others as it did for me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Tristan. I stand corrected. Thank you for your point of information. To Masi. Next, did you have any? No. If there are no questions for this panel, I'll give Speaker Barnes the floor if she'd like to make a comment.
Si Masi, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I just want to take this time and extend my undunklina si Masi to Dr. Bavakwa and the panel that's up here before us this afternoon. It just goes to show that if we implement programs to give the opportunity for our young leaders for our young interns to be leaders in the future, what better way than to show them hands 100% on the job training and a hands-on experience, and knowing that these folks continue to volunteer a lot of their time to give back to the community, besides the workshops, besides the field trips, but more importantly, giving back to their communities. We all know that some of them may venture into opportunities and even go into Ivy League universities, but the important thing is they have that learning, the experience, and literally, like was noted by the panel members, the opportunity to feel that this program is truly invaluable and that you are treated like just a part of the team, a part of the policy-making team. So I want to say thank you for that, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And Senator Cascio, any questions for the panel or comments?
Just some brief comments. First of all, Madam Speaker, si Masi po destino oportunidad na be co-sponsor estina Priniponi para hagolokwi Chairperson Biscoe para todo samzo dispensa sa huli idzo naigi television sa mas no apakat niya gigapatulu kinini franelahu. So forgive me, I'll try and keep this short and brief. It's amazing how the holidays have extremely whitened my own hair. I want to say thank you to the panelists. It's really encouraging to hear from those who have actually gone through the program and have pulled something away from it. I want to also thank my colleagues for finding the humility to extend some credit to me for being a part of this program. I do want to encourage you, Speaker, to keep in mind, I'm not a very good golfer, Speaker Barnes, but I once heard it's not how you drive, it's how you arrive. And I got to tell you, for the benefit of the listening audience, I might as well use this as a commercial, if you will, to advance the PPI. This program really started about 10 or 11 years ago. I mean, a lot has changed aside from the hair color. And it was Speaker Wanpat who gave me the distinct privilege to invite students. See, I was part-timing in her office at the time. I was an AP US history teacher at one of the private schools, and I offered a student or two or three to participate because I was assisting in her regular address, right? She did this public address, and it was awesome, and they had direct input. And lo and behold, Speaker Barnes, I think you were a senator at the time. Lo and behold, you had a student show up on a Saturday, right? Literally, he showed up and sat there and waited till we started, and there was really no program. It was an opportunity to participate. Then you had 13 kids, or young adults, I don't mean to offend the young ones. And then you had 2 or 3 dozen young ones. And so we had to kind of create this framework that would bring structure to this chaos of kids just coming in and wanting to participate. And it was really, really awesome to see that. And for her, the speaker at the time, who helped to give birth to the program, but to see the speaker of our time now, to sustain it with the support of her colleagues. I want to underscore that this body, this institute, which could be a part of the statute, which makes it a permanent part of this body, has done so much for this community over the years. Speaker Barnes and my other colleagues have acknowledged some of those credits, right? They've reached out in one or more humanitarian ways. One of the gentle persons in front of me participated in providing relief supplies to those who were smashed, who were battered, whose homes were destroyed and taken by the super typhoon. But way before you showed up, even to the island, 10 years ago, other students who were part of the cohort, one of whom is in front of me, was there when somebody's house burned down, when we collected hundreds of cans. To our surprise, they even brought a flat screen TV and a CD-ROM player, and that's because they didn't know what to expect, Speaker. And when we showed up at this house off of Isengsung, when they came to a house with no walls, a house with a very temporary wooden structure and draping canopy so that you couldn't see them when they were asleep at night, it was then, I think, that they realized that there was no power and no water. And so that was a very humbling experience for my students. And then if you thought their heart wasn't that as good as it gets, when you thought that was it, that was the pinnacle of one's human achievement in this program, I think, then they stepped forward and produced really good pieces. They hosted the first forum, I like to think, on Chamorro self-determination that was hosted in the legislature itself. I'm not sure, you know what, dispense me, I'm remiss. Sidusmasi, Podestino Kilisdano Lokwi, Itseluhu, Giinet nun Lalahing Guahan, para I testigon mo. Thank you so much for providing testimony. And I was busy typing away, but I think you made some reference to that. We've also recruited from public and private schools. I remember we went to Southern, and we went to FD, and we went to, I can go on about the recruitment strategies. But we took a lot of the Institute folks who were willing to participate, and Dr. Carlisle Corbin himself, and the findings from this self-determination forum. Actually, let me correct myself. This Chamorro self-determination forum into the high schools so that we can share our thoughts and get their input. We've had young ones also open many of our eyes about the Jones Act, the Merchant Marine Act of 1920. And that's the kind of advanced, forward-looking type of research. Anybody can do a research report. But it was the policy options that they were putting forward that left many of those senators at the time impressed. Former Senator Frank Blas Jr., former Senator Tony Ada, many other senators, to include my good colleague, the Speaker. And I just want to close off by saying we can acknowledge that several years later, there was the establishment, and I think they do great work. As a matter of fact, my hat is off to them. There is the Regional Center for Public Policy at the University of Guam that was established in 2016. And I want to encourage us to go ahead and move forward with this, Speaker and fellow senators, my colleagues, Amanda Shelton, the co-sponsor, because this now becomes the legislature's framework, a policy framework that may be utilized to assist us in our research, if not drive our research. And God, I pray, nonpartisan research, a research agenda that's in fulfillment with our policy agenda, whether it's the Committee on Rules or whether it's just an individual senator chasing food security for the Marianas. And last but not least, Madam Chair, thank you again. because I think this is a great tool for our young minds to effectuate change for our island. But it is my hope as an educator, it is my sincere and deepest hope, over and above the policy framework, that it allows you to find your true self. None of the students that I've ever had have ever aspired to be a senator, and I hope you do one day, but that's never the goal. We heard testimony from you, Ms. Camper, that I think brings it home best for me, so that you can use this to arrive at a greater truth for yourself in terms of who you are and where you're going to go and who you want to be. So thank you so very much, Madam Chair, and thank you, Speaker and Senator Shelton, for the privilege to co-sponsor this bill with you.
Sidus Maasi, Senator Castro. I'd also like to acknowledge my colleague who's joined us, Senator and Legislative Secretary, Senator Amanda Shelton. The floor is yours if you have any questions or comments for this panel.
Sidus Maasi, Madam Chair, and thank you very much for the opportunity today. I'd also like to thank all of the people who came out to testify in support of this bill. I'm sorry I missed some of your testimonies, but I was on the road doing errands and I was watching you on YouTube and I was just reviewing your testimony. So thank goodness for technology, because I was able to be along with you right before stepping into the room. And I had the honor of working on this piece of legislation with Speaker Tina Muñoz-Barnes' team earlier in the year. And I knew from the get-go that this was something that I was going to be very supportive of, because on the campaign trail, we talked a lot about providing meaningful opportunities for our young people to help them find their paths in life. And I think Senator Castro hit it right on the head when he spoke about that, because that's what we're trying to do here, and we're very happy to see so many of you who are involved in the Youth Congress. I think I see a few of you out there, and I've opened up my office to a PAGE program where I have some of you come in for a couple months to try out the different activities in the legislature and to volunteer your services. And that, I think that's been a very fruitful experience for some of you, and I've been very appreciative of that. And I think that this is a program that we can grow those sort of opportunities and bring more of your peers along with us and help them to be inspired to give back and to join in on the public service, as all of you have been so inclined to do. We don't meet many young people who are as active and as willing to give their time and their energy like you all have, and so we're very excited to open up these doors and open up these opportunities to you and your friends and see where this will take us. And so I'd like to thank you very much for your time today and for giving your support here and the work that you all have already done in the offices that you've worked in and in the roles that you continue to serve in. So Situas Masi, and Merry Christmas to all of you.
Thank you very much, Senator. We'll go ahead and dismiss this first panel. Mr. Bojwani, if you could just hang there, and we'll bring some of the other folks up. We thank you so much for participating in this public hearing, and then we'll just go with our next round of folks. So Mr. Chirag Bojwani, Dr. Ron McNinch, and Miss Amanda Alleg. Dr. McNinch, if you'd please start us off. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I certainly appreciate this opportunity to be able to say a few words before the legislature. And Madam Speaker, as always, it's a pleasure to see you, and Senator Amanda and Senator Will, thank you so much. My name is Ron McNinch, and I'm here, I'm using a lot of hats today. I'm here with my role as a school board member, which I'm very pleased to be a part of. I'm here as a professor at the University of Guam, which I'm always a part of, and also I'm here as a parent. There are few opportunities that I get to see that provide more promise and opportunity for our young people than a program like this. I've been very impressed with it. I read through the bill. I want to personally thank Chirag Bajwani, who told me about the bill and let me know about it. I knew for many years the great work Senator Castro did when he was not a member of the legislature, just as a staffer. So I think there's a lot of good foundation for this bill, a lot of good promise for this bill. I did want to note, I looked at the sponsors, and the sponsors for this bill Of course, our Speaker Barnes and Senator Shelton, Senator Kelly Marsh Titano, and Senator Will Castro, and Senator Regine Biscoe. These are the sponsors. And so our legislature has 15 members. There are 10 female members and 5 male members. And 4 out of the 10 female members sponsored this bill. So 2 out of 5 female senators sponsored this bill. But only 1 out of the 5 male members sponsored this bill. I wish more males would be concerned about our young people's education in general, not only in the legislature, but in our society. You know, fathers need to be a part of their children's education process. And, you know, I think it's wonderful we have a female majority, but I think that our males need to step up and be a part of their children's education process also. And I mean that, you know, I'm kidding a little bit, but I'm not. The men in this community need to step up and be a part of their children's education process. This wonderful program is an entree to public service for young people, sophomores and above, who are going to schools. And public service is a noble profession. The things that the young people can do with this type of program can set the foundation for the rest of their life in interacting with civics, interacting with the community, and becoming better citizens, informed citizens, change makers, and learning. They need to learn early on just how tough it is to try to change things. Because if they don't learn that lesson early on, later on they'll think that they can do anything. Well, there's ways to do things, and they can learn in this program how to do things and how to make goals happen. I have to tell you, education is a win-win process. This program is a great example of thoughtful planning, thoughtful consideration for how to help our young people engage with civics. And I've been very pleased to have the opportunity to provide a few words of support for this program today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. McNidge. Mr. Bojwani.
Hafa-Adai Senators, thank you for having me here today. Over about 10 years ago, I was one of the first interns with the Public Policy Institute. We started out with about 3 members, and then we grew to about 30 plus students. And so we decided to organize the program a little bit more. And you know, I think everybody talked about their experience as an intern while they were here, so there's no need for me to reiterate that. But more so, what I wanted to focus on was, you know, after graduating from the program, there's a lot of doors that this program opens up for you. When I went to college in DC, it really helped me out with a lot of my coursework. I kind of knew what I wanted my senior thesis to be about, and it also kind of helped me pick the courses that I wanted to take. I was able to do that in line with what I saw myself doing 10, 15, 20 years down the road. And another thing that really I benefited from joining this program was, you know, when you do your senior thesis, it's a 40-page research document that you've worked on for 4 years. Being on the other side of the world, it's really hard to find resources or sources for you to talk to, but this program kind of made me be able to know a lot of the people I need to talk to on a first name basis. A lot of them have seen me grow since I was 15, and now I'm here 10 years later. So it really truly benefited from that. It also helped me with kind of understanding what I wanted to do with my career. While I was in DC, I was fortunate to work for the U.S. Department of the Interior, and now 10 years later, I'm back on Guam working for the Speaker. We had a lot of successes with this program for me personally, but also for everybody else that I was fortunate to be part of the Institute with. And I'm glad that the Speaker has spearheaded the initiative to try to bring this back. The Speaker did mention the partnership that we had with the Junior State of America. And after the last few months of her nagging me, we're finally getting that started. The first week of February, they're going to be here. We're going to be recruiting at the different schools. We're going to be giving out scholarships to our public school students, and so I look forward to that. I think everybody pretty much talked about the successes, so if anybody has any questions for me particularly about this program, I'm here to answer them. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Ms. Allen?
Hafa-Adai Senator Will Castro, Committee on Roads Chairwoman Regine Biscoe, Speaker Tina Munoz Barnes, and Senator Shelton. My name is Amanda Ann Pomares Alec. I am here in an official capacity as a Public Policy Institute alumni, PPI. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of the PPI program. My story began as a student at Guam Community College studying human services. It has been one of my lifetime goals to continue to learn and obtain many skills to help Guam's families, animals, and agriculture. I strongly support Bill 41-35 COR and its initiatives because the PPI opened doors for me that I never in my life thought that I would be confidently doing today. I was part of the summer 2019 cohort along with 9 other students, and together we accomplished many things, such as educational workshops, conducted professional interviews with key stakeholders for our policy brief, and my personal favorite, volunteering with local organizations. The PPI program provided me a sense of fulfillment as a college student and a young woman just trying to make it. I'm a proud supporter and alumni of the PPI program. It literally got me to where I am now. I look forward to the growth of this program and what the future beholds for my fellow interns and the future interns. Sizuos Maasi for this time. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you very much, Ms. Alec. Speaker, any final comments?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I just want to say, as I mentioned earlier in reference to the adoption of the resolution 26-32 back in the 32nd Guam legislature, but even before that, working closely with Speaker Wampat and realizing this program, I do wish and I hope that when this bill gets on the session floor that we'll get a unanimous support for this legislation, but more importantly, noting the successes of this program and what the students had gained in their efforts. I want to say that students who have completed the program and graduated from high school has been accepted to a lot of the universities out there. I want to share also and reiterate what Mr. Bushwani said about the Junior Statesman program. They will be out here in February, and having the opportunity to work closely with the program and working with our local students just gives this program and the Junior Statesman program the opportunity to move forward and bring the awareness out into our community. And you holding this public hearing is really key because we know that when we create programs, we need to find resources to make it sustainable. But we also realize that successful programs like this gives us an opportunity to get creative and step outside of the box and work closely on the national level to bring a lot of new resources in so that the students who are availing themselves to this program can get that possibility of extra stipends or resources so that they can at least pay for the accommodations to and from school. I want to also note for the record, Madam Chair, that yes, when we first started it, it was open to high school students. But in the efforts of opening it to the community at large, we took it an even step further to see how many we could work with in the middle schools. So we had the opportunity to do that briefly the last term, and then even this term, also opening it up to the homeschool and charter schools. And Madam Chair, I just want to say that when this bill, I'm very hopeful that when this legislation becomes law, when this bill becomes law, the commitment from our team is to initiate the proposed grants that we've been working. Sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just need to pick up where some good leaders have left, Speaker Wampat and Senator Castro, and just move forward with that. We did some preliminary inquiries with the national, at the national level, and this kind of program fits very well into bringing new resources for the students. So I'm very excited, I'm very happy, but more importantly, it just opens a new opportunity for resources to our students, and not just at the high school and college level, but even as young as middle school. and I'm very grateful for that, and I'm hoping that those that are listening to us that are interested in the program, they have no problems calling any one of our offices up here so that we can be able to share the program with them. So, Undangkala na si Diyos Masi, Madam Chair, for hearing this bill.
Sidus Masi, Speaker, and to my colleagues, thank you very much for joining me here. I also want to thank everybody for coming out today and for participating in our process. It's very important. Our bills are only as good as the feedback that we get from many members of our community and our stakeholders. So I really want to thank you very much. I also want to thank Dr. Bingninch and Dr. Bavakwa for providing their testimony as well. And I think it's really important just to maintain that high level of attention to civics and to civic engagement in our community, and our entire community can only benefit from that increased level of participation and the education that comes with it. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take the time to just wish you all a very Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and a blessed and prosperous New Year. Sidus Masi, Todas Hamzu, Podifanatan Midzu Pago. The Committee on Rules hereby concludes this public hearing. Written testimonies may be submitted through email at Senator Biscoe Lee at guamlegislature.org, or may be hand-delivered here to the Guam Congress Building. Our address is 163 Chalan Santo Papa here in Hagåtña, until close of business on Wednesday, January 8th, 2020. This public hearing is now adjourned. The time is now 4:53 p.m. Sidus Masi.